At 1:27 a.m., a municipal traffic camera photographed the same man beneath the same streetlight. It happened 4 times. Each time, a serious crash followed within 5 minutes. He appeared in no frame before or after. The files came from WFD Cam 03, a fixed webcam operated by the municipality of Wenderfeld. It watched the junction of Mühlenweg and Lindenstrasse and saved a low-resolution frame every 5 minutes. Most of the recovered cache was ordinary: traffic, rain, winter grit, and empty streets.
The camera angle never changed. The building opposite remained its anchor, and the old streetlight marked the northeast corner. Cars came and went. Weather shifted. Parked vehicles changed position. That mattered, because it showed the archive was not a repeated still image. These were different nights, recorded years apart.
On the 2nd of November 2004, the frame saved at 1:22 showed an empty junction. At 1:27, a man was standing beneath the streetlight. He wore a dark coat and faced the building across the road. At 1:32, he was gone. The cache contained no frame of him arriving and no frame of him leaving. The street was quiet. No other pedestrian was visible. 4 minutes after that image, a car left the road and stopped hard against the curb. The damage looked moderate, but the 31-year-old driver suffered a severe traumatic brain injury. He survived. The local report explained the severity. He had not been wearing a seatbelt. There was no second vehicle, and a resident insisted the road had been clear. Nobody was standing there. The newspaper treated it as an ordinary single-vehicle accident. Nothing in the report referred to the webcam image, and at the time, there was no reason it should have. On March 14, 2007, rain covered the same junction. The man returned at exactly 1:27 in the morning. His position matched the 2004 frame within a few pixels. At 1:31, a 44-year-old driver mounted the curb and struck the streetlight. The pole bent toward the sidewalk, following the direction of impact. The driver remained in critical condition. A witness said the car had turned as if someone had stepped into the road. Police found nobody. By itself, the second report seemed ordinary. Beside the first, the pattern was harder to ignore. The same junction, the same empty road, the same unexplained turn. On January 23, 2009, the temperature was close to freezing. Again, the 1:27 frame showed the man under the light. 5 minutes later, a car overturned in the junction. The 38-year-old driver was alone in the vehicle and died at the scene. Investigators noted light frost, but said the road surface did not explain the path of the car. A resident saw brake lights, followed by a sudden swerve. 3 incidents now shared the same pattern. No second vehicle, no obstruction in the road, and no witness who could explain why each driver reacted at the same point in the junction. Only the webcam showed anything unusual. The 4th sequence was recorded on August 29, 2010. The man appeared at 1:27. 3 minutes later, a car crossed the curb and entered a ground floor shop front. The 52-year-old driver died. The shop was closed and nobody else was injured. There was no second vehicle, no obvious mechanical failure, and no clear braking marks. An emergency caller reported a man beneath the street light. By the time officers arrived, he was gone. Each crash was treated as isolated. The archive disagreed. Once the dates and frames aligned, the pattern became impossible to ignore. Placed side by side, the pattern is difficult to dismiss. Different seasons, different parked cars, different lighting and road conditions. The camera geometry remains fixed, but the man does not age. Every anomalous frame is stamped 127. Every crash occurs between 3 and 5 minutes later. 2 drivers survived, 2 did not. None of the files contained a clear approach or departure. No single source contained the full pattern. It appeared only when the cache timestamps were matched against 4 separate incident reports. That comparison changed the investigation. Local reports treated the crashes separately until 2010. Their language repeats: no second vehicle, no pedestrian located, unexplained change of direction. The cache adds something the reports could not. In each case, a figure occupied the exact point the drivers appeared to avoid. A search of older municipal records produced one name: Jonas Riedel. The name appeared nowhere in the modern reports. It came from a municipal accident ledger dated 1974. Riedel was 33 years old when he was struck by a passenger car at this junction on October 17, 1974. The official time of the collision was 1:27 in the morning. The accident record places him at the northeast corner, beneath the street light. He died in hospital 39 minutes later. Police found no evidence of excessive speed and no independent witnesses. The driver said Riedel had been facing the building across the junction, with his head tilted upward. In 1974, there was no webcam on that building. The earliest anomalous frame was recorded 30 years after Riedel's death. Nothing in the surviving files explains why the pattern began then, or why it continued. But the age, clothing, location, and repeated time are consistent. If the figure is Riedel, the archive is not showing a man who returned to the intersection. It is showing the same moment, recurring. The identification is not certain. The later images are too small for reliable facial comparison, and no photograph of Riedel was attached to the surviving record. The municipal webcam remained online until September 2011. A preserved service notice states that the camera and its mounting bracket were physically removed during renovation. 2 days later, the dedicated server and local cache were permanently decommissioned. The final legitimate image was published at 5:55 in the afternoon on September 28, 2011. No replacement camera was installed. For almost 15 years, the recovered folder contained nothing newer. Then, on July 13, 2026, the index changed. One additional file appeared in the orphan cache. Its checksum was valid. Its device signature belonged to WFD Cam 03. The timestamp was 1:27 in the morning. The junction had been renovated. The street light had been replaced. Parked cars and road markings were modern. Yet the viewpoint was unchanged, and the man was no longer beneath the light. He was standing directly below the old camera position. No registered device could have captured it. The server had been offline for 5,402 days. There was no next frame. Case LCU-001 remains open.
Source removed. Copy retained.